What is up, everybody? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. I got a Black Ops 2 gameplay here in the background, and see, I told you guys, Call of Duty on this channel is not going anywhere. And apparently, I guess some people either freaked out and unsubbed when they started seeing Halo footage being put up, or YouTube is pulling its new YouTube trick and just taking subs away from people from whenever they upload more frequently. But whatever it is, it's hilarious, and it is what it is. It's all good. I'm not gonna be dramatic over that. It's whatever happens, and it's all good here in this channel. It's still fun as hell. So, but anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video, I have a very interesting question that I've always been curious about in this video, and I know the answer varies on opinion, varies on what game you're playing, and it also varies on personal ability, actually. It varies to the individual as well. But how old is too old to compete? Like, one of the questions I was asking in competitive gaming wise, one of the questions I was always wondering, because right now I'm 32 years old, and one question I always had, and I've asked people that I know in real life this question, my best friend, for instance, and I think I remember even slightly asking it, maybe in the comments section or something like that. Something very vague. I don't remember, but the question is, am I too old to compete in competitive gaming? Let's say, for instance, you know, Halo, I end up tearing it up. I end up getting really, really good. I end up doing really well. I end up finding a team and start competing. And, you know, I'm 32 years old. And in the gaming world, that is, for the most part, especially for Call of Duty, to my knowledge, that's pretty damn old. You're seeing people that are playing first-person shooters, like Call of Duty, for instance, that are competing, and they're retiring at, let's say, their mid-20s or so at the latest. And if they make it to their mid-20s, you know, that's, you know, they're blessed, you know. But at the same time, I'm really wondering, like, well, what if a person had the capabilities? What if they just, you know, remain compassionate about the game and just kept on putting time into it and just never slowed down because of their own personal abilities, their own personal skills, mindset. The fact that they never stopped playing is something that plays a role as well. And some evidence of this has even been shown in professional sports as well. There are, for instance, you know, in boxing, for instance, or even in MMA, there are people that retired very, very late in age. You know, usually it's the, like, let's say early 30s, early to mid 30s in athletics when athletes retire, and also depending on what sport they play. But for the most part, that seems to be the usual age. But at the same time, there are those numbers have been those numbers don't always count. There's people that have retired way later and have actually showed no signs of slowing down until way later. And I personally think it's just, I think a lot of it plays in just how much the person just wants to do it and their own personal passion and their own personal capabilities. Now, obviously, some of us are a little bit more physically gifted than others. Some of us are even more mentally gifted than others. Some people just they just have that ability to keep going, and they don't, by any means, they don't let themselves stop. They're really strong like that, mentally, physically, and they just, you know, they look at the limit and they say, fuck that, you know, I'm going to do what I want to do, and if I think I'm capable of doing it, I'm going to keep doing it. So, but as far as gaming is concerned, from what you guys believe and what you guys think, and from what you guys have seen from competitive as well, because I like to think that, you know, certain, you know, some people that watch me probably watch competitive gaming as well. And the thing is, how old do you guys think is too old? And I know it, like I said before, I know it depends on the game. But, for instance, let's go with my age, okay? I'm 32. Do you guys think 32 is too old? Like, for instance, I know in Halo, there are a lot of older players competing and playing. For instance, there was actually a tournament qualifier that took place this weekend, and yes, I watched it, and in the finals, the grand finals, it ended up being a team of young guns versus pretty much a team of more veteran players. The veteran players ended up winning, but those young guns, man, I'm telling you. There's a 16-year-old kid right now. His name is Renegade. That's what he goes by, is Renegade, and he's a competitive COD player, professional, and he was doing some amazing shit. If you guys saw the tournament qualifier for Halo 5 last night, guys, I mean, I'm telling you, you will definitely remember Renegade. He was doing some amazing shit. I was like, oh my gosh, it was absolutely fascinating. I was amazed at this kid. And the thing is, the thing about the youngsters are they're amazingly gifted and talented, and the only difference is that their knowledge is not quite up to where, you know, the veterans' knowledge is. And knowledge is power. Knowledge does play a role, so it's kind of even in a sense. But I was immensely impressed, and I was actually glad that it ended up the way it did, because, you know, it just goes to show, whether somebody's too young or whether somebody's too old or whatever the situation may be, you can't really underestimate them by any means. As a matter of fact, you can't underestimate anybody, period. It's the cardinal sin in many aspects of life. But so anyway, going back on topic here, is my age too old, or do you guys think that it just depends on the game? What is your opinion? And my friends in real life actually said, no, my age is not too old. Everybody I've talked to as of right now said no. I mean, even I have another friend that I work with. He goes by Half Ton Hammer, and he basically told me, he basically asked me, he's like, are you thinking about doing competitive Halo or something? And yes and no. Obviously, when you're playing ranked, it is competitive, and you got to kind of work your way up. And the way they have it set up is, if you do really, really well, you can even qualify and play in professional tournaments if you and your team qualify in the rankings or whatnot. So, but I mean, would I like to, if the opportunity came along at the right time, and if I got to a certain level, whether it's Halo or Call of Duty or whatnot? Yeah, absolutely. But in all honesty, I'm interested. Even though Call of Duty should be the game that I would want to compete in professionally, I just don't like the game modes for competitive in Call of Duty. Halo, on the other hand, yeah, I love it. The only game mode that I like for competitive Call of Duty would be Hardpoint, but that's it. But Halo is a whole other beast. So, and there's other games out there that people compete in now. There's Gears of War, which is a much slower pace. There's League of Legends. There's all sorts of games. So, and depending on what game I've noticed, I notice if a game is slightly slower paced or whatnot, older people definitely play it. But at the same time, you know, younger people tend to retire really early from a game like, let's say, Call of Duty, where it's super fast paced, super twitchy, and all that good stuff. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. What do you guys think? What is your opinion on this whole thing? And as far as how old you can be to start competing in terms of youth, like how young you can be, my opinion on this is, if you are old enough to get a job and to start working, you're old enough to compete. So anyway, those are my two thoughts on that. If you guys like the video, let me know. Let your opinions and comments flourish my comment section down below if you want. And as always, if you liked the video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.